Hi, I am Chris Menges. My wife is right there, Christine Menges. She won't be able to stand for you, but I would appreciate your acknowledging her. If I would not be standing here were it not for the support of my wife. I've been married for 40 years. I have 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. We have 2 daughters-in-law, and we have 3 grandchildren. I would like to speak for a moment about my experience, but I'm going to make that a very short moment. Back in my table, I have a pile of biographies, 3 pages that tell you all about me. If you really want to know more than I'm going to tell you, please take one of those and look at it. I have been an attorney for 34 years. I've been an attorney for the longest of any of the candidates. As an attorney for 34 years, I have practiced law in the civil courts, in criminal courts. I was an assistant district attorney for almost 5 years. I practiced criminal defense law also. I practiced in the family courts. I've done custody trials. I've done support de novos. I've done PFA hearings, many of them. I've done dependency hearings. I've done adoptions. I've done divorce and property distribution. I've done all of those things. I've also been in the orphans court. I've been in will contests. I've been in guardianships. I've done it all in those 34 years. As being an attorney, what I really want to talk to you tonight about is values. When we started this evening, we stood up and we saluted the flag. And when we saluted the flag, we said it's one nation under God. And I firmly believe that our laws, every one of them, are from God. I believe in natural law, that God wrote the law by having inspired people write the Constitution, our forefathers, and I believe that the Constitution is how God has expressed the law of this country. And this country was founded on Judeo-Christian values, and it is those values that I would like to promote and be a model of if I'm elected judge. I would like you to think for a minute about my record. I suspect many of you here are here and you come each month to these meetings because you're tired of seeing people up here or on television, on the federal, on the state, or on the local level, talking about what they're going to do and how conservative they are. Look at my record. I have been a conservative. I have been active in human life services, tender care pregnancy centers. I've been an elder in my church since 1990. I was active in our presbytery. My church is Providence Presbyterian Church of the PCA denomination. I've been active in the Good News Jail and Prison Ministry, the York Rescue Mission, the Christian Business Fence Committee. I'm on the corporate board of Lancaster Bible College. I've been active with my wife in junior achievement as an advisor. I've been a West Manchester Township supervisor for 6 years, and I'm out of time. Thank you. Question?
It seems many in the legal profession are very lenient on illegals, people who break our law, come into our country, get many benefits. Now I would suspect a lot of people in this room are against the illegals. I am personally. My father came here along with my grandparents. They brought him over in 1921. My grandfather worked here for a year before going back to Italy to bring the family over. They come over the right way. They got in line. These people are coming in droves. Don't get in line. What's your opinion?
Well, I agree with what you've said. Unfortunately, our immigration law is federal law, and our immigration court is a federal court. I've never handled an immigration case, and I suspect that most of my opponents have not either. That is federal law, and there's really nothing in the York County Court of Common Pleas we can do that really deals with immigration. All we can do, and what I would like to do, is try to promote the family, try to stop the disintegration of the family, and to promote the rule of law. We as judges should be models of that kind of thing, and again, I'm out of time.
How can you get, or how can you...
Larry, hold it. Larry,
He's got time. Sorry.
Yeah, recently in the paper there was an article that really hit home. I was really bothered by where this man from Maryland robs 4 banks in York County and was all scot-free. That is unacceptable. I don't care what the reason is, but that should never happen.
Well, I agree with you, that should never happen, but that we have laws and we have a constitution, and as a common pleas judge, we have to abide by those laws and that constitution. I will tell you, though, that I intend to remain accountable. If I'm elected judge, I'm going to remain accountable to you folks, to my wife. I have set in place some accountability partners, because Proverbs 18:1 says that a man who isolates himself seeks his own desire and rages against all wise judgment. I believe in accountability, and I think if judges were more accountable, we might not see that kind of thing happening.
Chris, I have a question.
Sure.
Since you're in family law, are you familiar with the Children's Rights Convention, the UN Children's Rights Convention? And are you in favor of this treaty or opposed to this treaty?
I can't think of much of anything in the United Nations I'm in favor of. I'm certainly not in favor of treaties that completely ride over the Constitution of the United States. That was a softball. Come on, someone give me a hard question.
Todd, go ahead.
I just had a question here. It says, rate your judicial philosophy on a scale of 1 to 10, with the living document approach being a 1 and the strict constitutionalist or originalist being a 10. And your answer was 10. Explain that, please.
I'd be glad to. I believe that judges do not make law. Judges are supposed to take the law as it is passed by legislatures, and as Superior Court and Supreme Court justices then interpret it and hand it down in precedent. Common pleas judges take that law and they apply it to the facts of the case that is in front of them, and they make a decision based on the facts and the law. They don't create law. And I don't think any appellate courts ought to create law. I think that we ought to be strict constructionists from stem to stern. The United States Constitution is not a living document. It was penned in, if I remember right, 1789 by people a lot wiser than I.
Okay. Something that you as an attorney or as a judge, for some reason, are not allowed to talk about in the courtroom. What is your opinion of the concept of jury nullification?
I'm sorry, what?
Jury nullification.
I'm not sure I'm familiar with that.
In other words, it's the concept that the public, the individual, is the ultimate arbiter and against oppressive legislation, and you can actually, the jury, deciding based on their opinion of the law. Essentially, the jury, not the facts of the case necessarily, but their concept of the law. That if they feel it's an oppressive law, the ultimate power rests with the people.
Well, Todd, I suspect you're not going to like my answer, but that sounds like anarchy. And let's not forget that too much government can enslave us. Let's not forget that anarchy can enslave us. We have a rule of law and we have a constitution that was written for a reason. We started out with Articles of Confederation. They, of course, were passed here in York, Pennsylvania, but it was way too weak, and people couldn't make trade. They couldn't. The banking system was terrible. There has to be a rule of law.